All right. Good evening and welcome to Triumph Life Center Community Bible Study. This is our second series. It's a 4-week series. We're beginning tonight, June 20th, here at 9 Pittsburgh Street with Pastor Floyd Brown. Giving you welcome. His wife, Mr. Barbara Brown. We just appreciate you all being here. The series is on anxiety. And we are excited about this new topic. If you're in the greater Newark area, you can come on down. See tonight. We have some refreshments and cool drinks. So come on down and be in person here with us. We will be on tonight, June 20th. Next week, June 27th. We'll be off that following week, which is the 4th, the holiday. Then we'll be back for 2 more weeks. Anxiety, something you all deal with. Pastor Floyd is going to lead you to the conversation. If you're on YouTube, on social media, you can post a question in the comment section, and we just look forward to this discussion. We just want to open up with a moment of meditation, and you just to center yourself as we come to the evening of this day. And whatever the cares of this day has been for you, whatever the toils, the work, the stress, the anxiety, that we just let it settle in our body temple. And breathe in and release it. Shake it off. Shake it off and just know that in this moment, in this space, it's a safe and sacred space. And for this hour, that we're going to just release it all as we lean into this study. We bless Pastor Floyd, his wife, and our community here as we open up this study. Ashe. And amen. Pastor Floyd.
Anxiety. Feeling of worry, nervousness, unease, typically in an intimate event or something with an uncertain outcome. I don't know about you, but anxiety has always plagued. First, it was a little bit, then it was a lot, then it was a little bit again, and then it was a lot. I want to start this off. Bible verse started off with Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. I just want you to listen and think about anxiety for a minute. It's brief from Mr. Barbara.
The Lord had said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation and I will bless you. I will
Okay,
make your name great.
let's do it. Let's just be Abraham. He had nobody, there's nobody in existence. And he is told by God, I want you to leave your father's home. Now, wait a second. Abraham done grew up in his father's home. It's a good home. There's no strife in the home. All of a sudden, God wants me to leave. That's enough right there for most of us to have some level of anxiety. Abraham couldn't go to his therapist. He couldn't go to a friend. He just had the word of God telling him to do something that he felt led to do. Now, I want you to go over to verse 11 and read down to verse 13. This is 13.
Starting at 11,
Yeah.
going to read down to 13. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you.
Abraham, I submit to you, using my Bible imagination, has so much anxiety that he tells his wife, you ain't my wife. Don't tell him that. Tell him you're another girl. Tell him you're somebody else. Just don't tell him you're my wife. That's how much anxiety Abraham had over this situation. Now, imagine you for a second. I just want us to be human for a moment. Let's forget the Bible story, forget this is biblical. I know it's the word of God, all that other stuff, whatever. But just think about it. A man is told to go nowhere, not given a physical address of where to go, but to go somewhere. And he has to go. Now, before I go into further, I just want, if anybody's out there listening to YouTube, whatever, leave your question, I'll try to answer. Because I want to have a conversation, not just me rattling off stuff. Abraham didn't know nothing. No therapy that he could go to. And he's still in. How do we do that today? Seems like a mystery. But before this 4 weeks is over, I'll give you an idea of what to go to. But remember, therapy is always the best thing. Go to a professional. I ain't a professional. I got my education, I know theology, that's about it. That's it. Pastoral care, I can tell you nothing about it. Because I haven't experienced that. But here is Abraham. Abraham is in this foreign land and he has to go and tell these people he just met, he don't know him from Adam, that excuse me, sister. Say, well, how you doing, sir? How you doing? How you doing? My name is Floyd. The subject we're talking about is that if you don't know me, let me give you a brief bio. Very real. Very, very. I don't know how to put it. Very real. Very real, down to earth. Yeah, but anxiety, like I said at the beginning, you all go through some form of anxiety. You're all nervous about something. It's not the bill, right? It ain't the light, it's the rent,
Yeah.
it ain't the rent, it's food, kids.
Oh,
We have some anxiety about something. And all I wanted to do was show the Bible. We often look at the Bible and we take the people in the Bible as being like all of a sudden they can't do nothing wrong. Oh, they're the greatest of all time. But they had issues, just like we have it. And they had to deal with them, just like we have to deal with our own issues. It's a woman. So I want to get back to Sarah and Abraham. You can read that
14,
11.
reread 11.
Yeah.
Going back, everyone, to read from 11. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife, then they will kill me, but let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you.
Here we have Abraham. First part that I read for that basically God told Abraham to get out of his father. Now, I've been young for I can imagine saying get out. What do we get out? It's good. The food is good. I'm telling why you telling me to go? And you telling me to go somewhere. God told him to go. He didn't tell him to ask. He ain't telling him where he wanted. He just told him to go. What kind of crap is that? So imagine what Abraham must have been feeling at the time. And then he finds Sarah, and he's ready to go into Egypt, but he's smart enough to know that Sarah is fine. It's fine. They're gonna kill me if they find out I'm a husband. So I'm not gonna lie. That alone right there is just straight up anxiety. That's just, I'm nervous about what's gonna happen. I'm scared. Let me just lie.
Mhm.
If you ever been in that situation before, or you
Yeah.
can't, like, I want my rent money. Well, I need the hours that work. No, you want to work every day. They get it. Just straight line, like you lie to public service.
That anxiety.
I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about you. When you tell public service, yeah, I got you next week. I'll give you a little bit. Next week turn into months later. Yeah. Exactly. So I just wanted to bring that out about Sarah and Abraham, the stress they must have been under. Imagine the stress that we are under today. I mean, if you look at the suicide rate and everything, young people today can't cope. Ain't like my generation didn't have to.
Yeah.
We just have to deal with what we have to deal with.
Talk to each other.
That's about it.
When we were younger, talk to each other.
Uh-huh. Now I'm jumping ahead to the point. Sam, first Tim, I love it. Me and this dude is running down. He just got
First Samuel.
first Tim, 17, 30. 30.
But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rent the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it.
Okay. I just want you to think about what David just said. I didn't kill a lion and a bear. Think about that. In my biblical name, just the way I look at things, I think David was BS. I'm not saying David was lying. I'm saying this. When the lion and the bear came up upon the boy who was 13 years old, probably 13 or 14 years old at the time, he did not have the wherewithal to say, I'm not afraid. I mean, I've been a 13, 14-year-old boy and afraid of the cops, I'm afraid of a bear. So this dude all of a sudden is telling Saul that I ain't afraid because I did this and that, and blah, blah, blah. How many of us have been in David's position? But we straight or be at straight BS. Not, and it might not be a made up story, but BS is something that got a little bit of truth to it, but a lot. So I may have been out playing basketball with my friends, but I told my mother, man, that's where it started off. That's what I started. That's what it started off at. And it ended up with something else. So all I'm saying is this: is that anxiety. To know anxiety, you got to know yourself. To know what triggers you to be at. I don't want to say BS. That's right. But I want you to get in the thought of what can trigger you to make you do these things. Pressure is hard. It's the hardest thing in the world. I tell anyone, worst thing in the world. If you don't know, I'm sitting down, but in my house, I normally sit in a wheelchair. So I have a little bit of exercise I do. My wife burned her arm today, and I wanted to help her. I wanted to be the man and usually helps and those things, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't rush to her aid. And as for a man, that gave me anxiety for about 2 minutes. Then I thought about it. I thought about what God brought me. So I said, okay, I can deal with it. It's hard. When you grow up a certain way, you live your life a certain way, and you've had examples in front of you of go this way to get that to that end of the story.
That's a question.
Yeah,
So would you say that you are not being able to assist me was a trigger,
yeah, well,
but now if, even though it was a trigger, the feeling that anxiety, that whole anxiety can have on you sometime in that moment, it holds you for very long.
no,
And you said, I'm asking because you said why, and I just like for people to hear the why. What was your why on it again?
it's because I knew and understood where I'm at and what I can and what I can't do.
Right.
And that's been the hardest. I'm gonna move away from the circle for a minute and focus on me. So we're gonna go back. I find that in these Bible studies, the intimacy of it is best to be real and be. If you know me, if you know my story, that's not so much about my story. But I will tell you this, I won't tell you everything that happened, but I'll tell you this. I was a person who was always on stuff. Always did. I was self-made, I was I had. Nobody gave me anything. So I had to do it myself. And the sad part about that, when I got the ministry, I thought that I was all still had to, nobody was going to do nothing for you. You had to do it for you. And now God is humble. God will, He will humble you real quick. And in my condition now, I can honestly look back on my life and go, boy, you were stupid. You did some good things, but you were stupid in how you tried to pull them off. Let me tell you how stupid I was. See this photo? And that picture back there. I had about 30 and I slept with you. It was so bad in there because they had looked at the food and everything, he does everything. I breathe that in. And would have Bible study with them every night, talk stuff. And I realized later on, after what happened to me, that I burned myself out trying to help somebody. But the person I need to help, first of all, was myself and then my wife. That's good. I want to help people, and that has to change. That's the part. That's what we make. I think I get it. But I just want to help my thing. But I understand now in my life that I got to help myself first. And helping myself first means I got to put together, not a team, but do what I need to do what I want to do what I see happening in the earth. And my anxiety came from not being able to do what I wanted to do. But I used to, I couldn't sit in the house. I couldn't sit in the house. Nobody asked me. I couldn't stand still. Matter of fact, the dad stole it, took a homeless man over the dirty street and was free. He came back and went to the park. Yeah. I was cooking them. And my anxiety, imagine me now. Now I gotta sit in the wheelchair. My exercise, maybe a little walking here and there. But I can't help. I can't do what I do. Like today I had anxiety. My poor nurse, I love her. He tries to cook for me. But I'm finicky as finicky. And he tried to get me to I want to eat my wife made me what she made.
I made the face here, but I used the car wide wraps and you had to be a little creative. Right. And I had to try to explain to everybody, if you wanted a certain way, you have to get up and go in the kitchen, right, and show her what you want.
And if you know anything, my aunt, I love her to death, but she's African. And I would think maybe the connection between us would be somewhat similar, but it isn't at all. It's completely day and night. Yeah, like I told her one day, give me the fish out of the refrigerator. She told my fish. No, it's cultural barrier.
Yeah, it's more cultural. Yeah. So then with words around the communication sometimes, so a lot of things you have to show. Show. You can always get it by hearing. But your anxiety overhead it eats a little. Now you
my anxiety is much better. Make you laugh. Try to get it. It really did. He was a nice man, but there was a severe, I wouldn't say a language barrier. I could understand most of what he said, but he had a kind of strong accent. I think from Russia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I just like, and you know what helped me? Honesty. And I'm jumping ahead, but I can't help. Psalms 34, 4 and 5. I sought the Lord, and he answered. You know what I thought about?
Yeah.
We pray a lot. When I was younger, I was taught to pray, pray, pray. I never was taught to listen to God.
Mm,
Never. He said, I sought the Lord, and he answered.
yeah.
That means you have to take time to listen as well as pray. He prayed and then he listened to hear God. You have to sit down, sit back, think meditation, be taught on a global level. Just like they want to teach prayer everywhere, meditate. If you don't hear from God, you're rocking it.
You have to learn for yourself what that sounds like.
Uh-huh.
You have to learn for yourself what that sounds like.
And it's as simple as hear from God. God bless you, brother. How you doing, man? All right. Yeah, doing good. Good, real good.
That's the Floyd.
How you doing?
How you doing, Sam?
Barbara, I don't know if you know. Jasmine.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah,
Middle name Jackson.
and
And what's your name, brother?
brother, us.
Brother Arthur.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, sit down, I'm gonna bring it to you.
Yeah.
Tell brother what you're talking about.
Oh, we talking about, yeah. Got any? I got some. How do you do with you? Faith?
So knowing that God gonna work it out. I feel like I'm not fully of other people. Moving forward with myself and without it. So once I put that forward. Don't never give up the sick and override the business. I need it back up to God.
There you go.
But, you know, but
I don't think,
I like what the brother said, first that it was patient.
Yeah.
Patient.
I'm like, that. Yeah. It don't come from me. If I'm patient, don't come from me. It'll come from the higher power. So, I believe God give me the strength to ignore. So I say ignore because when I say ignore, it allows me to block things out there. Wrong. So like things that coming towards me as negative, block it out. Or it was right back. That's it. It's in the right path, but you know, temptation is all
Everywhere.
everywhere comes in at many forms. You know, and or be aware of them and not conscious of the higher power.
Hmm.
So, I'm learning.
That was good.
You're right. Right. It's not an overnight process, like it's overnight because that trust thing is what makes the reality or tangible. Or I could say it because the trust makes the reality.
I
It
like
makes
what
the
you
reality
said.
certain to me.
There you go. Tangible meaning it's something real for you that you, right, right, and it's really personal. Like you said, it's not an overnight thing, it's a process. But the more you grow in that patience, if I hear you right, you're saying the more we grow in that patience, then it doesn't turn into anxiety, you know.
The 24-hour thing, it's not like, you know, it's a lifetime to develop. We already have it. You know what I mean? Like the wasted, separate, move around it, so that you able to know that. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, that's the one that goes directly to the top. Yeah, I want to make sure everybody can see it, okay.
Um. My other question for you. What if you have a baby? About 50 open, there we go. So. And you gotta feed that thing. And there's no food left.
It took me to pay punishment. So now, government got to it. So, so my belief to be, my reality strong and real. You know what I'm saying? Locked up. That's your reality that you gotta deal with every day. Not you and stuff like that. It's happening to move back for me with knowledge and wisdom and understanding that me, you know what I'm saying? So, whether toward right, like I had to change my thinking of everything. Because I was toward, you know, when I thought again, well, I was every day. Always trying, always accept everything as a class. I'm not ever gonna think I know everything or, you know, I want to know everything. Even if I know the person wrong, I'm still figure it out. You know what I mean? But I just know in America, everything is black and white. That's all they care about. It's where I live at, so those guidelines I need to follow. It's like, back to me. You know? Everything. I'm gonna take you.
Can I ask one more question? I hear you talking about patience. And that patience.
Well,
How do we take that message to the younger generation? Because what I find is, our younger generation is dealing with it now, way more than what I dealt with.
was that it's always a lesson of you know, but it's about energy that we put into raising young kids that be patience is that so right to them it's right. Also to circle everything from itself is that to them it's to so it's like you know, it's like you gotta accept being in the middle of that. You can't not be love like but at the same time, you know, like just the same way. So God teaches us that He is the only one that there's an explanation. You don't have to explain yourself to man. I'm saying you only answer to that person. One he didn't really, you know, allow yourself to give yourself. You know, I don't mean that. I don't want to And, as long as you forgive yourself because God giving you that, it's giving you peace. And go forward. Go with it, go on. That you gotta know how to deal with patience because you know that this is, you know, if you work toward that or whatever it is gonna come. Because it will come as long as you working toward it. It's just like to me, I look at it like learning. So I don't know algebra or certain type of computers, anything. I had to learn it. I had to learn it. In fact, I felt a lot. Well, I was right back and I was learning. We going from F to honor roll to constantly getting A's at the root to the right. That would make me become a real true believer in our myself, and it made me believe in the process. That things do come together. That I take examples from different scenarios, situations I maybe went through or got go through. Just know that and I permanent, you will get it right. So to me, being right for making 100% proven. That's
There's like this willing, if you always have to be willing to be wrong
Yeah.
in order to learn a lesson. But the brother said something, we asked him if he had, and he said yes, and he said, and your baby needed formula. There was not a thought about anxiety. And I'm bringing it up because I think I tried to remember how things were for me growing up. And I don't remember thinking about having anxiety. I didn't realize about anxiety until I got older.
Yeah.
When I needed to do, I just did. I didn't think about the process or anything. This needed to be done, I'm gonna do it. If I needed to work 60 hours, I'm gonna work those 60 hours. And in my life, I've learned that anxiety builds up.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't really know that you have the flu. You might just think you have a cold. You're so used to walking that, well, let me just go get some Tylenol cold. And then after a couple of days, you take this Tylenol cold and you go, wait, this is different. So I think in that process, you learn, like you just keep going, but you learn as you're going. And you talk about the peace. It was just so easy and fluid for you. It was just like, if you know that God is working it out for you, there's the peace, thereby erasing that anxiety that, right, that we feel being younger. I didn't think about anxiety.
well, younger generation out here, like, you still got a role to play, whether they this or not, you know what I mean? The move part, you can, you call that, because they're not gonna listen, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not gonna beat everybody, some people, they want to hard. Something, you can tell them, they'll take it as a lesson. But, you just gotta roll the play, you can't give up. You just gotta constantly, so keep beating it to them, but you know what they need to do to make a positive impact instead of a negative impact.
I think what I heard also from all of you was this idea of patience. And I think to Pastor Floyd's point, to your point too, brother, is that for so much of our younger generation, and we have to kind of lay the blame for that on the elders,
Yeah.
is that they haven't learned patience. Well, no blame, but we have to, yeah. But I think in some ways, would you think though, that we perhaps we tried to move the generation, right,
I got two back in.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
So it's like that is
exactly,
whooping.
Yes.
The
yes,
impact on you is gonna be negative.
yes.
Gonna make you mad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we have to be mad.
You're gonna have to, yeah, you're gonna do, yeah.
I never did that.
Thank God for that. I learned that lesson about, with my children when my youngest was little, it finally clicked in. That wasn't the way. Even though I was raised that way, because that's what my parents knew, I realized that wasn't the way.
That's what
But-
they do.
Yeah, it's what they knew and what they had learned, but when we know better, we do better. But I think in terms of the patience we have, we've created a society that everything is quick. We have fast food, we want everything quick, we want it now. And as a child growing up in my generation, probably yours, things were slow cooked. I didn't, it had to wait, so waiting was just our norm, but this generation, that idea of waiting, what is that?
Yeah, what you got on Sunday, you got on Thursday.
And patience, and how way to learn patience is have to wait. You have to go.
Yeah,
through it.
yeah.
Wait.
You think it's worth waiting for it.
That's well said. That's well said.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for sharing your voice.
I'm right here, I'm running one on the neighborhood, property maintenance and management. Yeah, I do all of.
That's great.
All the property maintenance and management in the neighborhood. Yeah,
Awesome, super awesome.
we got a new job, painting,
Yeah, let me
rug,
do-
back.
Thank you. Thank you. Last thing,
Yeah.
last thing, that you think about the patience part, right?
Yeah.
Because I think if we learned about patience, we would have less.
I'm scheduling here, that's my call.
And then-
I'll leave it to you. Tuesday evening, Pastor Floyd, we have round table. All right, so every Tuesday. Thank you.
Pleasure, bro.
I'm right here in the neighborhood, 50 years.
You look familiar.
Yeah, I'm from around there, 50 years, with the
Yeah.
red John, everything, I'm committed.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a good day.
You
God bless
too. You too. Blessings.
But then the question. We deal with that question. My generation, I didn't know that we was that. I thought government cheese, government cheese, good cheese. Make real cheese out of it, you know, good cheese. But today, according to statistics, maybe that's another cultural thing, but kids deal with anxiety way too much. Way too much. Compression, if we just honor ourselves, we use Instagram for church, but Instagram is a false idea of what life is. And that's what our kids see. They see pictures looking glamorous, but not realizing that's all fake. And sometimes I believe in church, we, like I said before, we make superheroes out of Bibles. And that can give a kid or an adult image that they can't live up to. They can't gravitate, they can't boost, they can't function in that image, because real life is, there's no real life. That you can see, there's nothing. So how do you do that? The question is, how do you do that? How do you get by in life? Just dealing with life. That's hard, man. Nobody told me that, little boy. They didn't tell me it was this hard. Nobody told me that. I wish they would have.
I tell you, I think for my parents' generation, certainly the generation when I was raised, spiritual faith community church was how the older folks dealt with it. because they were living in a very oppressed. They were oppressed in the community, oppressed at work, oppressed economically, oppressed walking down the street. But church provided that outlet where they could come in and feel safe. They could feel like they belonged, they were valued, and that there was a God that understood even when the world didn't. I was listening to the song Father Alone, we'll know all about it. Father alone will understand why. There's one verse that talks about, and I'm paraphrasing, but there's people living all around us who seem to be more blessed than we are, and yet they're doing some horrible things. But we'll understand it by and by. We'll understand it better. And that was the way they got through it. When we begin to feel, I think, like we were no longer oppressed, or we weren't going to tolerate it anymore, and that we were entitled to walk in this privilege, then our outlet shifted, I think. We didn't need so much that community anymore the way we did before. And then our children and their children haven't always understood struggle. And I think as Pastor Floyd said, life is hard. But that's not a negative thing, because learning how to walk is hard.
Yes, it is.
Growing is hard. So it's not in a negative way.
Something you said on one of the things. You said, you talked about the old church. And, I thought, there's something I used to learn about when I was on the church. Why when somebody came in, who automatically gave you a job? They were in charge of something. Why are they doing? Yeah, and I think what's on it was right.
Yeah.
So church gave them a sense of dignity.
Yeah.
So if I fuck the floor in church and that's the difference between religions now, because religions don't care about your brother. They care about the dollar. We taught them how to play the guitar. We taught them how to play the drum. Yeah. They were a part of it, and it's. Yeah. They can walk in the community with their hands out.
I'm not, I don't come from a generation that we pay musicians.
No.
It was about worship, praise, it was an honor to do.
To pay someone to be a praise team, oh my goodness. That concept, I mean, if we went back in time 50 years, the old folks were like, shut your mouth, what are you talking about? Because praise broke out like that, you didn't have to cheer anybody on. And what they stand in front of you and coach you to praise God. They were coming in from their domestic work and from their. What happened? Because that's where they had meaning in their life.
Church is different than what it was before,
Exactly.
and in all honesty, we have to speak into the nation. And it's hard. It's hard being from the previous generation, pre-children generation. It's really hard. Be honest about that.
To make them believe something that from their perspective, being on social media, they see so many different avenues of it that it becomes really hard. But what do they believe? And when they hear about tragic stories that happen, why would I want to be a part of it? And I think that's where we have to come in and really speak intimately, being transparent with them about how we came to believe and why, because everybody's why is different. Everybody's why is different. Some people were driven to God by some traumatic experience. Some people, they experienced the joy in their heart first. So I know for me, I had to find that joy with God. I first came because there was a need. I was seeking something. I was seeking something that I didn't know what it was. And for me, now I look back and feel like God opened the door, right? Women and Women was just like right there. It was just so convenient that it didn't seem real. That I could be a part of something that big with women who, just by seeing them and knowing some of their story, not even all of it. So it was hard for me, and I say it out loud because a lot of people coming in, I believe, at least for women, I can't speak for men and how they feel, but it's hard to just come into something and just kind of just be transparent and be yourself. And you have to build that relationship first. I say all that to say that you have to build a relationship, but it's not hard. And if the relationship, if we teach about building the relationship first, I think the relationship and people's identity in Christ becomes more solid for them first. Not trying to make it look good for everybody else. Just because you show up, that doesn't mean anything. We all know you come every week, but that doesn't mean that your relationship is strong. And that's some personal work that has to be done, but it's possible.
It is. And I know kind of support you're gonna be wrapping up, and I just wanted you to, as you close out, to just go back to what you were saying about our youth. I don't want us to, I recognize that we cannot diminish this generation's anxiety. It's real. And they are dealing with struggles that I never had to deal with.
No,
They have issues that I never even had them raising my children. So trying to understand, sometimes I think we try to diminish them
yeah,
in terms of like your anxiety is real or your pressure is real. I don't know what I feel what you're doing. The kind of things you're going through. So as in ministry, being able to first acknowledge that what you're dealing with is real. And I may not have no frame of reference for it, but yet it's real. And how do we as faith community help them with that anxiety that we can't even find in scripture? I don't know what it was for David and the lion and the bear. In fact, my daughter shared with me that she read somewhere that they said even Goliath was a special ed person that was blind in one eye. So what was that about? Right?
Some of us were special ed, right? Like if we were in school now, they definitely would say that some small, well, you got ADHD, because kids is still long enough, right?
everybody got to be special. You didn't rock out. But I'm gonna end it with this.
That was-
Paul said, and Paul, just to be honest with you, in this Bible study, Paul is somebody. He does. I can tell you. Rejoice in the Lord always. Say it again, joy. Let the gentleness be upon you. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious for anything. But in everything, prayer and petition.
Tell the people where you're meeting from.
Philippians 4.
Did you believe it, sir?
No, I didn't. I did. I thought it was a nice closing full letter, Paul wrote switch, but it didn't. Be anxious, don't be anxious for anything. What do you mean? And that's not right. If we are really living and we are honest with God, the brother that was here. And I think he has that we just don't understand yet. Yeah. Well, yeah, it don't. Well, exactly. But when sometimes when you feel like you've got a lot to do, things don't work out, that anxiety will hit you. And it will hit you. And all I can say is, I don't want to say pray because prayer is nice, prayer is beautiful, prayer is wonderful. But just it's just you talking to God, telling God your problem. That is, at some point, you gotta take time and listen and listen. Listen to what the Spirit is saying. Abraham had nobody. David had nobody. but yet he can hear the Lord tell him what he wanted to do. That's because he lives it. The, matter of fact, all these Jacob, Isaac, all of them, they had no Bible. They had no Bible. They still figured it out. Figured it out. And in today, I know in today's world, they're telling you that it's the end time, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me, it's don't believe it. Believe that God is still doing it. And God still wants us to do it in the earth. And he still needs people in the earth to do it. He still needs Abraham. He still needs Isaac. He still needs Joshua. But you gotta want to do it. You do.
Wow. Well, thank you, Pastor Floyd. What a great discussion. Sister Jamie,
Yeah,
you okay?
yeah.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Sister Barbara, for just supporting your husband and our brother that came through. That's what this is about. This is about being open here in the community, for the community to come in. I just believe that we shift, there's talk about shifting the culture. You shift culture when you shift values, when you shift belief systems. And ultimately underlying that is when you shift the energy, or you change the spirit. And being here for me is about creating an atmosphere, an energetic energy that's about life. And it's about embracing the community and valuing them and what they have to offer. This brother said some very profound things.
Yes, he did.
Very profound things. Now, he's not without struggles and challenges, and I'm glad he was transparent
Yeah.
about some of his past. Even my sister Jamie has shared some of her struggles with us and some of her challenges. But yet, seeing the divinity, the divine, seeing the Spirit of God, even in the ones that you know have not yet come to recognize that in themselves. Being here, holding this space, having the doors open so that they can wander in. You know, my sister that came in and got something, she has become attached to me, and she has her struggles, but you know, she says every time she passes here, the church, it gives her strength to not go into that old behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, there's an energetic pull that stops her from going in that direction. And so that's why we're here. And so I want to just appreciate you, Pastor Floyd, for being a part of this, and for bringing this lesson, very common sense lesson, anxiety. For me, the takeaway is that generationally, we deal with it differently.
Yeah.
And we got to respect each other's. Barbara, you said getting older, the anxieties I have now, or worries I have now that I have to deal with that I didn't have, say, 20 years ago. But yet, those of my grandchildren, I don't know those. Not that I don't respect it, I just don't know the anxiety. I didn't have to deal with the pressure of social media growing up. I don't know what that. I didn't even have to deal with the pressure of designer clothes growing up. That wasn't a part of my world. You know, we wore what we had. And most of that was homegrown, it was made at home. Hand me down, or actually sewed at home. So it's a whole different world. But thank you, Pastor Floyd. I'm gonna ask you, either you or your wife to close us out in prayer. And for those that's watching us, we appreciate you. Those that joined us via YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the like. Share this link with your social media platform. Let them know we're here Tuesday night. They can join by the Zoom room. Come down in person, have some pizza, some cool drink. It's summertime. We'll get some watermelon for us to chill on next week.
Yeah, please.
Come down and be in person with us. Share this good news. This is the gospel. Yeah. This is the work, I believe, of Christ. Go ye into all the world and share the good news. That there is life. The world isn't ending. As long as the seed time and harvest will continue. The challenge is, what will we be doing? We're going to be on our post. God bless you. We love you. Pastor Floyd is going to close out in his own way.
Bless you. God bless everyone that's hearing. Lord, we just thank you. We thank you for this space, oh God. Thank you for this space in which we hold space for others, God. We just pray and believe that the word said here tonight will not fall on deaf ears. We lift up the brother Oman today, oh God, and we just thank you for him. Just saying his name just now gave me chills because that brother came and he was transparent, he was himself, God. And that we know those of us that have walked some walks and had a journey that is what you ask of us, is that we be our true authentic selves. But God, tonight we thank you for those that can be their true authentic selves and pray for those that may have anxieties about speaking out, about being transparent, God. Letting you know that this space right here on Tuesday nights at 9:59 the street is open for them, God. It's a safe place where people can come in and talk, that they can reach us via social media. Lord, we just thank you for all of those connections. It's in Jesus' name that I pray, have my being. Amen.
Amen. Okay, love you all. God bless you. See you next week. Be well. Spread the love, everyone. Take care.
I was tired too. I said. I can't do that. I forgot we had, I'm moving up.